This is the web apps page, and like the iPhone OS apps page, it obviously is going to change over time. There will be different featured apps, but the structure of it is usually about the same, although things may be in different places. What the user sees as they browse through the pages of web apps are screenshots, and for each one a brief description or blurb, a link to the company, the URL of the web app itself, and the date it was posted. All of that is here, and you'll see this all becomes very important. Now, instead of installing an app from the App Store, what you can do if you want to run the web app, you simply click on this URL. And when you are on iPhone, you can bookmark it. You just click the plus down here at the bottom, and you are asked if you want to place it on your home page. You just say yes, and there you have it. Or you can just add it to your list of bookmarks. So all a user has to do to, in effect, install it is to bookmark it, clicking the plus sign, and then they have it. It shows up on the home page just like any other app does. Now, there are some other links here on the apple.com/webapps page that are really important. The one over here is what are web apps. There's a description of them, which I've basically told you about. And then there are two important development links here. This link takes you to Apple's developer site, developer.apple.com, and there are at this point 3 developer centers on developer.apple.com. Apple has an iPhone Dev Center, a Mac Dev Center, and a Safari Dev Center. It used to be that all we had was the Mac Dev Center, but now as Safari has become this tool that we're using on iPhone, which is not a Mac, then they've split it apart into these 3. The iPhone Dev Center is for iPhone OS apps. Now, the Safari Dev Center differs from these other 2 in that it is public here. You don't have to register. And the key resources here are right down here, and it's usually under featured content. The one most important reference is the iPhone Human Interface Guidelines for web applications. Read this. This is your Bible, because what you need to do is follow it. It must look as close as possible to all the other apps, and the reason for this is not because Apple has said you must make it look like other apps. It's because there is a tremendous amount of research that shows when apps function similarly in different contexts, people understand what they can do and how to do it. That's the purpose of having a common user interface. Now, once you've adhered to those guidelines, you do not have to submit your app to the App Store as you do with an iPhone OS app. But you can submit your application to have it listed in this section. And in order to submit the application, you have to have an Apple ID and a password, and you must also be a member of the Apple Developer Connection. And as you can see here, you can sign up for a free online membership. But Apple must know who you are, and you must certify that you are not doing this for nefarious purposes. And to submit the application for the listing on the web apps section, you can see that the guidelines are you have to submit it completely, you must conform to the development guidelines, which is what I've just said, and it should be complete and stable. Don't send your first draft to them because it'll come right back to you. And you mustn't infringe on copyrights, you must own what you're submitting, and you must provide the URL that lets them access your submission so they can look at it, which seems to be a reasonable request. Now, if you want to become an ADC member, there are various levels of membership, and they change over time. They give you various support services. And that is one of the 2 ways in which you can get the developer applications, including Dash Code. The other way is if you have Mac OS X on a CD or DVD, the developer tools are on the CD or DVD in most cases. But you can always become an ADC member to register, to be able to submit applications, and to get additional material that is behind this wall that is not simply available to everyone. Notice here, I am not logged in. I am here as just any person who has clicked on this link. Once you have an ADC membership, you can get behind that wall and see information that is available under non-disclosure. So that's how you get your app listed on the web apps page. That's what they are. Here's where you find additional resources. And now it's time to get started.